remember these? Because if you do, you're gonna love this little walk down the memory lane. Hi, Nikki here, with absolutely no filters. Paste Lama. These little postcards were not just letters you wrote someone. These carried countless stories and memories, and sometimes were the only reason long distance friendships survived. I remember as a kid, every time I moved to a different place, I had this little brown color pocket diary with me in which I used to write down all my friends' addresses. And I wrote to them regularly on their birthdays, Diwali, and when something exciting usually happened in my life. And writing a postcard was not just that. It had this whole process to it actually. First came the anxiety of somehow fitting 5 hours worth of conversation into this one little postcard. You sometimes had to write in such a tiny handwriting while still making sure that your friend can read this. And once you had returned the postcard, you had to find a beautiful stamp to stick on it. And after the stamp, you had to actually walk down to the post office or to the corner of your street to find the bright red post box, and you dropped this into it. And then came the waiting. You sat there counting days wondering if your friend received the letter. And you probably kept hoping they would write to you as soon as they received it. You'd run to the gate every time you heard the postman's cycle go tring tring, hoping he'd call out to you. And then you tried to hide that tiny little disappointment when he didn't. Until one day he finally calls out to you, and voila, there's a reply from your friend. And of course, your old movies had to exaggerate the next part. Like they literally put the person's face on the letter as if you were imagining their face when you read it. Now, as exaggerated as it looks, I'm sure you've done that too. You tried to read the letter in your friend's voice and tried to recollect their face, their expressions, all that from just that familiar handwriting, the way they looped their L's, crossed their T's, wrote their B's. Oh, the feeling. And as ridiculous as it sounds now, there were so many days when I've slept with the postcard under my pillow because it somehow felt like a warm hug from my friend. And of course, these postcards felt even more cherished because we couldn't really write as frequently as we wanted to write to them. Even though the cards were not really a luxury item, I think it was for us because we didn't get enormous pocket monies from our parents. We had to save up every bit and think, is this something that can wait until my next postcard? Or is it something that I need to tell them immediately? So many memories, right? And then of course, there were these pen pals that we wrote to. Half the times, we hadn't met them, we didn't even know how they looked. Yet somehow, they knew so much more about you than someone who lived next door knew about you. The efforts we took to maintain relationships back then. Because writing a postcard was not just communicating to a friend. It meant that you missed them, you thought about them randomly. You actually took time out of your day and made an effort to sit down and really write to them. And getting one from someone made that relationship even more special because it meant you really mattered to them and they're thinking about you. It's like these postcards not just carried our messages but had a way of bridging the distance in our relationships. Today, technology has come so far that despite the distance, our friends are just one call, one text away. And yet, we somehow still feel distant. It's like we no longer even have the time to talk. Or is it just we stop making the efforts? I'm gonna leave you here with that thought. Tell me down below in the comments if you've ever had a pen pal too, and what's one of your favorite 90s memories. And I'll see you next week.